Welcome to this comprehensive guide on understanding how to stay in Airbnb, everything you want to understand about, what Airbnb owners are looking for from a guest perspective. Obviously, I'll show you a screenshot of a recent client who, one of our clients got a booking, it's a big booking, so I thought I'd quickly celebrate that. But then also in there it says working in and then the location. It's great when you understand that kind of procedure, understand the guest, and as a guest you understand the host, because then you'll be able to not only get a better price, but also understand if it's the first time you're staying, you get to understand the process of staying in Airbnb. So guys, look, we've served thousands of guests using our clients, and if you're new to this, my clients' videos and stuff like that, look, we're GrowYourBnb. We love helping Airbnb operators grow their business, and in today's video, I want to sit down, go through how you can enjoy using Airbnb vacation rental properties, and more importantly, navigating the booking process, and I want to show you exactly how to do so. So thank you so much for watching another GrowYourBnb video. So firstly, let's understand the rise of Airbnb, because at the moment, pretty much is a household name. Everyone pretty much know about Airbnb. There is a difference nowadays between, do I go to a hotel or do I go to an Airbnb? My amazing moment with a friend of mine, we actually put a video on my YouTube as well regarding us staying on a boat as an Airbnb in Portugal. So we booked that. It was actually in Airbnb. You can do that as well. And we stayed there for 2 nights. It was such a fun experience. Obviously the boat didn't move, it was docked. However, it was a great experience. It's got lounge, it's got bedroom, bathroom, and it was just a great experience overall. So quite a quirky way to stay, but at the end of the day, if you're booking your first Airbnb property, you want to look at cozy apartments, be a big house for family to come together, cottages in a remote countryside. This is the best way to look at things in details while you're booking at it. So the first stage is, if you want Airbnb, understand the Airbnb listing well. Look, you'll find a difference between a operator who's described their property in a much more detailed way, its amenities, its location. Now look, if you don't understand the location, you can message, if you go slightly down, you can message a host and find out more information about the property, the location and stuff like that. But do take your time to read the first part of the listing, because that's when they put the main features about their property. So as a guest, as a person who was looking to book, it's quite important that you guys know and understand, the bedroom, the bathroom, the configuration, what they offer, because in Airbnb, not every time you're offered a meal. So make sure, if you like to arrive to a property and you want to have a tea, make sure you take a milk with you. All these little things that you're not unaware of, or a hotel normally does give you and an Airbnb operator wouldn't. Always make sure you check in further detail. The further into it, you've got a filtering and a sorting out option. So in Airbnb, if you look at, you can filter down how many bedrooms, how many beds, how many bathroom. You can filter down your pricing, look at that opportunity as well, because it's quite simple to use. But if you're looking at a budget, you need to go into that budget and understand what other people are offering. Yeah, it kind of allows you to minimize the search as well as make it more specific to your requirements. One of the greatest advantage of booking on Airbnb is looking at your host review, because if you look at your host review, it gives you an insight of other people who stayed in the past. These are people like you who have stayed in that property for numbers of reasons, be leisure, business, emergency, anything related, and that is where they talk about what they liked and they disliked. Sometimes, for me, because I've worked with both, host and guest, like sometimes there's bad reviews, but there might be one bad review that shouldn't affect, the type of host that person is, because it could be just something going wrong in that property at that time. And sometimes I say to my clients, you might be on holiday, you might not be able to react to it straight away. So there's numbers of reasons why there's a bad review, but you always need to go back and look at the host and how they've replied to that comment, because there will always be two sides of the story, and it's the best way to read in reviews and also understanding what ratings they have. Now, imagine if you booked the property, it's always worth communicating with the host, because one of the things I've found with Airbnb hosts, especially with my clients, is we love getting bookings. We love alerts saying you've been booked. But a lot of time you've got a welcome message which is not as personalized and stuff. So you might have got that from hotels you've stayed in. They automatically send you going, thank you for reserving your stay in da da da. So try and message quickly and say, hey, this is me, da da da. We're looking to come down for 2-night stay for visiting Oxford. All we're looking to do is have a little, browse around and stuff. Would love some recommendation on a restaurant or something like that. Well, what it does, it allows you to obviously gain trust with the Airbnb operator or the host, especially because remember, these operators are people who either own or lease houses, and they always like to protect their property from anything happening. So yeah, it's a great way to communicate with the host after you book in or even before you book in, which obviously builds a trust. Now finally, booking your property, it's actually quite easy thing. Let me quickly go into a screen share. Would like to walk you through it, also give you some little tips that's going to help you book the best price as a guest, and importantly also enjoy your stay. But yeah, let me go through the screen share now on how to book the property. So as you can see, I am in Airbnb account right now, and so let's say we were booking somewhere in Greece. So I'm gonna quickly actually go to Greece. Yeah, let's go Santorini, and let's say I was booking there for a week stay for leisure for 2 guests. So as you can see, it's beautifully, depending on where the vacation rental properties are, people are a lot creative on the way they set up their property. Now I've obviously mentioned previously in regards to filtering down your requirement, because you can see here at the moment, there's rooms and everything being filtered. What you need to always make sure you do is you look at entire homes rather than just rooms, because that's what you're going to look for. When you do that, you'll have selected properties available on different pricing, and it's pretty straightforward to book. If we go into the main property listing, make sure you check the nightly rate, make sure you get the discount. Here you go. Now there's 2 ways you can book it. You can go reserve and pay for it, or fingers crossed, as long as this is a qualified listing. Normally what I like to do is they've got a pretty busy calendar. You can see there, a lot of people have booked their property, so you potentially as a guest would like to maybe get a little bit of deal, so you can go into contact host and be able to send them a nice little message when you go, just have a little chat and say, hey, we're looking to book, our budget's slightly little, you're already given 5% off, would you be able to give us 10%? I would love to book it now. And that is a great way to communicate with a host. Obviously, please make sure you also explain what you're exactly doing and what you're doing, so then that way they feel more comfortable actually giving you the property. And finally is preparing your stay. Now there's 4 things I want to cover just to make it even better. The main thing here is, at the end of the day, you're basically booking something that you've never done before, and you might think, oh my god, what if I turn up and the host isn't ready, or we've had numbers of time when housekeeping team have let down the Airbnb host as a result of that. The property wasn't ready. So first thing, simple, on the day of you go in, please make sure if the host has messaged you, make sure you message the host. That's my number 1 tip for you as an Airbnb traveler. Make sure you are doing that, because if you don't, you haven't heard from them. I know an active host will do that, but if you haven't, you make sure you are sending them a message to say, hey, we're arriving this time, looking forward, and make sure you get a reply. That's the most important thing. Secondly, make sure you understand the house rules, because it's the most important thing, because as an Airbnb guest, that is the most important thing that a host will look into, and also Airbnb will look into. So worth having a look at, review on the house rules. And last but not the least, understand the procedure of check-in and check-out. Check-in, i.e., how do you get the keys of the property? Who do you meet? or where do you get the keys? There's so many things to look at. Check-in time, what if you want to check in early, and all that kind of information to also check out. So quite a simple thing, but do have a look into it. And last but not the least, obviously explore the neighborhood, and that's quite important too. You can do that digitally, you can do Google searches, but also when you get there, that's the best way to look at the area. At the end of the day, guys, you have booked an Airbnb to stay like a local would. That is the whole point of enjoying an Airbnb property in a local neighborhood. So I hope you enjoyed this video, just a simple one to understand if it's your first time booking an Airbnb property, B, if you're a host and you're trying to understand my perspective on how people book, and especially for someone who's trying to book and enjoy Airbnb as a host. And for me as a consultant for many clients I've worked with, I want to make sure that both the party, the host and the guest, maximize opportunity enjoying their stays on Airbnb. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this another GrowYourBnb video. Look, if you'd like to start learning how to host, want to understand also how Airbnb works, we've done loads of video in this channel. Please make sure you go and check it. And look, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure you hit that like, subscribe and share.